So, OÇEGS, when you enter any office, are you asked for an advice? Or this is just a task for the Class A offices. So do people think in any business premises or anywhere, or just Luxus class? So you have created your agency, Lietus, the rain, and probably you have met various clients who have a lot of money, who don't, and so on.
Yes, at the moment when people see all the principles, they can never live without them. How they will always think about how people feel in a building, in a room. I have had a case when we, together with some students from Arts Academy, entered a retail office, and upon entering, I asked everyone to take pictures of entering process, how you enter the door, how you get through safety control, what corridors you have to take and whom you meet afterwards, and how you get to the office. And what we felt, we felt initially it was quite opposite to how this retail office presented themselves. And then I showed those pictures to the managers of this retail office, and they were amazed in a negative way. And they said, "Whoa, we are here for 15 years, but now then you say so, we see that it is so bad." For me, the languages that communicate to us is very close to me. It's not only my job, it is also my hobby. I always like to analyze emotions and feelings that I have when entering a building and what I will have when leaving the building. And when working with people, I encourage them to do the same. I already told you about one example, but I will tell about yet another example. I made an efficiency audit for one of the offices, and I entered the door of that office, and that was very interesting. This was the first thing that you saw. I was puzzled because right next to the entry to the office, there was a huge loudspeaker and a Rammstein or another rock piece sounded. And I was surprised because the office was full of people. That was in 2019, pre-COVID. And I was explained later on when they explained we are a sales office, and our employees started to fall asleep by that music. That's why they made their own playlist, and they made in the following way to have additional energy when working in the office with clients. The first thing that we are talking when creating an office is productivity. How can we manage extra efficiency? Productivity should grow. Sometimes it's even absurd, this request or requirement, because when speaking about productivity, we sometimes look at our employees as machines, how they can produce more and more Excel sheets, etc. But in 2021, our activities are more connected with intellect and intellectual knowledge, not with physical production and production a lot. That's why physiology is a very, very important factor. It's a factor of hygiene. If a person is in the environment not supporting his emotional and physiological well-being, he or she is not going to be able to perform. So everything is of significance. Ergonomy of furniture, lighting, also air quality. And when we solve these issues, next step is, what is this room telling about itself? And is it enough that the person feels well and can concentrate, or do we want some more? Do we want people to open themselves and or to feel in a special way? So this emotional part for an office or for a room is very important, because when a person enters a park or a building, he or she goes in with his or her emotional luggage. He or she was in traffic jam or in a public transportation with all the sounds, with all the hassle. And we are trying to make him or her better, more comfortable. And we do have certain instruments to ensure that. For example, the thing that a person sees when entering a kitchen, I made a picture of it in one of the office when planning premises. We probably would do away with those printouts. But during the last years or last year and a half, all the public premises do contain warnings about keeping one's distance, etc., etc. But at one point you have to start thinking whether those warnings are helpful or are they unnecessary, adding stress, or how this person is going to feel in this or that room. And in order to achieve it, we have a set of instruments that are simple. We always talk about users' experience, and in a room, users' experience can be explained or given in a more simple way, because a person is moving around it in physical trajectory, and we can tell the story when moving around or whilst moving around. If we take away all the pictures, I am, for example, sitting here, and I have behind me a window, but as soon as I move my camera, you have a different understanding of where I am. There is a screen, a TV screen, also some documents on the wall. Most probably I'm in an office. So opening up the space of a premise, you show the story, the picture of that room. So you can tell the story to people, and thus making them feel how we want them to feel. We can either bring them to a certain emotional status where he or she can take decisions that are beneficial for us, or we can explain our values, or values of our organization, or values of our brand, or our city, or whatever. If I show you this picture. If I show you this picture, it is clear that you are in an architect's office. And Perkins and Will office, when creating their office, they wanted to show that they care about physical approach, physical attach. So they made a workshop where they create their art. So they placed this workshop next to the reception, and they have glass walls. So every customer would see it, would notice it, would understand that this is all about it. If I entered this office, it might probably show me that server room is the most important for this office. This resource or this activity is the most important for this or that organization. In order to plan those things, you don't have to become an architect, or you don't have to specially educate yourself, because this consists of small details. I showed you a picture of a kitchen. Another example from my experience connected with a kitchen. When we made a co-working room in New Teika, and there my task to the architects was placed in one sentence. Without trying to understand this sentence, you might have difficulties. But we said them that we have to create a room where people who don't know each other can easily engage into a conversation. So in order to achieve that, we worked with details, not overall picture or bigger things. We had, for example, very subtly hidden bin boxes or waste boxes. So in order for someone to find it, you should ask a question to another person. Those are very visibly placed, but you cannot guess where it is. Also, in the open place where everyone is sitting with their laptops, there we hid all the plugging places, and the locals, or those who were more frequent visitors there, they knew where the plug-in places are located. So, because we knew that if a person asked a question to another one, where do you plug in your computer? Then he or she is more open to engaging into a conversation and more open to help others. So if you've come up with this solution once, you can invent other similar solutions. You don't have to be an architect or a designer. So this is what I wanted to say. I hope you had some interesting ideas, and I hope that in your projects there are some, or there will be some hidden thoughts also from what I've said. Yeah, we know that the exterior of a building is significant, but thank you very much, OÇEGS, for pointing out that interior is very important, that what you see when entering the door represents ourselves or says something about our values. It is worth remembering that not only when you think about universal design, but also about other things. If you need such a person to see and to read your room and your mood and your values, then you know whom to approach. OÇEGS ΝIKITINS from creative office, from agency Lietus reigns.